Hello everyone. In this video, we're going to be taking a look at an article from the Daily Mail. Now this was published on November 16th. It's written by Joel Adams, and how they chalk things up in the article, or Joel chalks things up in the article, I don't agree with this whole empowerment thing. I think it's the fact of you paid for something and you want it. But let's get into the article here, because I'm getting a little ahead of myself. Because this is some great shit. It really is. All right, the Snowflake generation is too afraid of confrontation that they won't speak up, like if they get bad service, or their food's cold, or their order's fucked up, or something like that, which you know they do that shit in every aspect of their life if they do it there. Let's get into the article here. Snowflake generation are too scared to cause a scene. Less than half of 16 to 24-year-olds would complain about a rude waiter or cold meal, compared to 71% of over 55s, FCA study reveals. Less than half of young people would complain about bad restaurant service. Wow. That's fucked up, that they'll just sit there and take it like a little bitch. You know, getting treated like shit by a member of the wait staff, or their order being fucked up, or anything like that. That's funny. Over 55 see complaining as empowering. 16 to 24-year-olds think it's causing a scene. I highly doubt the 55ers, the over 55s, see complaining as empowering. I'm sure a lot of them will see it more along the lines of, I paid for something, I expect it to be a certain way, or it's supposed to be a certain way. Not necessarily expect, but it's, you know, supposed to be a certain way. Because, I mean, depending on what we're talking about here, beyond food or whatever else. And they want what they paid for. I mean, I'm in my 40s. I'm in my early 40s. And that's how I see shit. If I pay for something and I expect, you know, it's supposed to be a certain way, I want it that way. It's that simple. It's not about empowerment. It's about what I ordered, what I paid for, and getting it. That's all it really is. It's not about power. Three-quarters of Brits have delayed complaining or put it off entirely. Not speaking up despite being in the right costs consumers around $275 a year. Yeah, exactly. Why should I pay for... This isn't about empowerment. This is, why should I pay for something that I didn't order, or I didn't want, or something along those lines. Young people are so afraid that complaining will be perceived as causing a scene that fewer than half would speak out about bad service in a restaurant, a major study has found. I think it's more along the lines of they're afraid of the confrontation. They're like George McFly before Marty came along. Wow. To think that they see it as causing a scene. You know, they don't want to deal with the confrontation. It goes to show that if that's how they'll act, no wonder why this fringe extreme, you know, like Antifa types, the far leftists, can get their way with the larger group, because they don't have any problems with the confrontation. So the other ones just go, okay. And they just sit in the fucking corner and allow the shit to happen. Grow a fucking set of balls. Just 46% of 16 to 24-year-olds would complain about things like a rude waiter or a cold meal, versus 71% of over 55s who see speaking out outpour. Wow. No one fucking proofreads shit. That should be, sorry, they got this out of order here. This should be who sees speaking out about poor service is a matter of empowerment. And they have who's he speaking about out poor. No one fucking proofreads shit anymore. So now that we got this, I'm going to go through this over again. Just 46% of 16 to 24-year-olds would complain about things like a rude waiter or a cold meal versus 71% of the over 55s who see speaking out about poor service as a matter of empowerment. Wrong. They probably more so, I don't know about your study, but I'm sure you gave limited options on your answers because of this empowerment fucking thing, because no one's going to really see it that way. It's about the fact of getting what the fuck you paid for. See, the Snowflake generation, they'll just get porked, get fucked over, and deal with the loss of money. Three out of 4 Brits said they have put off complaining entirely at one point or another, and failing to speak up for themselves cost them around £275 a year. The poll by the Financial Conduct Authority found 15 million people in Britain routinely failed to get refunds or replacements and don't get their problems solved because they don't know how to complain or do not feel it is appropriate to complain even when things go wrong. It's a fucking miracle that the Brits had enough balls to speak up. It had to have been the boomers and older about Brexit. I mean, shit. You have a situation where Brits are too fucking cocked to open up their mouths. And it's costing them money, and they don't want to complain, and they don't want to do this. I'm surprised you people fucking got enough balls to stand up to the government and say you want it out of fucking the EU. The FCA study conducted last month revealed the vast majority of people have avoided making a complaint altogether. 75% have put off complaining 73%. Wow. That's a lot of fucking people. Consumers estimated they missed out on £275 in the each in the last year by not taking a stand on issues from incorrect deliveries to refunds for transport delays. The average amount of people told researchers they had missed out on because they hadn't complained when they could have over the last 3 months was £68.65. That adds up. That's a vacation once a year maybe for a family. That's 1 month of a couple months of that. That's 1 month of utilities. A few months of that shit. I mean, shit adds up. And researchers discovered the top pet peeve among people who find themselves muttering to themselves rather than speaking up was queue jumping, followed by poor service in restaurants and shops. Brits are so fucking cucked. Someone cuts in the line and they just keep their fucking mouth shut. Oh my God. This is some funny fucking shit. This really is some funny shit. That's bad that they won't even open their mouths when people cut in front of them. The government body commissioned the research ahead of next August's deadline to apply for compensation if you have been missold PPI, amid concerns many could miss out on money that was taken from them without their informed consent. Yeah, well, I'm sure they're not bragging, not bragging, but openly saying, hey, yeah, you might want to get in on this. I'm sure it's out there and they're just kind of going, yeah, that's there. People aged 25 to 34 were found to be twice as likely as the over 55s to delay so much they missed their they missed their chance entirely. Wow. That's fucking sad. That's so fucked up that the 25 to 34-year-olds are like that. The poll of 3,000 people concluded the art of complaining may be at risk of dying out, with younger generations the least likely to be proactive about getting problems resolved or their money back. The art of complaining. You're making it sound like it's the art of getting something for nothing. It isn't. I mean, I understand it's not your intent, but that's how it kind of comes across. You know, because the squeaky wheel gets the grease. That's not the intent of it. It's about getting what you rightfully paid for. Fewer than 46% of 16 to 24-year-olds would complain about bad service in a restaurant versus 71% of over 55s. Well, I got to give that 46% credit. They're not cucked out. I mean, this just goes to show how bad the Snowflake generation has become. That they will allow themselves to just, you know, like it's Pulp Fiction, get bent over something with a ball gag in their mouth and get fucked up the ass and just take it. Those aged 16 to 24 wait more than a week on average to complain about an issue, but the over 55 speak up within 2.5 days. Yeah. Because they want to get it done and over with. They don't want to procrastinate. It may be that differing perceptions of complaining among different generations mean it is a dying art. Or it could just be the fact that why can't we all just get along and happy and hugging and cucking everyone has caused this to be the fucking situation? Did you ever think about that? Younger people are more likely to see it as critical and causing a scene than their parents, who associate it more with empowerment, taking a stand, or making a protest. Which is funny considering all of these young little fuckers will go out and take to the fucking streets, okay? Some of them even throw like masks on their face and burn shit down. You know, under the banner of Antifa. They got no problems there doing that shit. But they can't open up their mouths about poor service, cold food, a fucked up order, whatever the case may be. It's just fucked up. Just 2 in 5, 44% of the under 35s relate complaining to getting a good deal, compared with 68% of the over 55s. Oh, wow. People need to seriously, take the Snowflake generation and shake them like a British nanny shakes a baby in Boston. And knock some fucking sense into them in the process. You paid for something, you dumb shits. Get what you paid for. I mean, to an extent, this is an issue here in the U.S., but this seems to be more so a British thing. Because in the U.S., people will fucking complain about shit. I mean, less so with the Snowflake generation compared to the other, previous generations, but we still complain about shit when we got an issue. Hell, we'll complain about shit even when we don't with some Americans. In contrast, more than a quarter, 27%, associated with awkwardness, compared to just 1 in 10, 11% with over 55s. Well, the reason why it's awkward is because you're socially inept. And you can't express what you want and where you're coming from and how you feel about this situation and how you would, like to have it remedied if at all possible. That's on you. Consumer confidence champion Gok Wan told the FCA, as a nation, we tend to shy away from sticking up for ourselves, even when we feel we've been given a raw deal. But just like fashion, complaining is all about feeling fearless. Yeah, which is one reason why there are all these grooming gangs, rape gangs, and acid attacks, and knife attacks, and trucks of peace, and all that shit in the UK. You won't even speak up there, so you're not going to speak up about your fucking food being fucked up. That's just a matter of fact. Andrew Bailey, chief executive of the FCA, said, almost 3/4 of us wish we were better at complaining, and the same numbers say it's important to them to be treated fairly. Yeah, I agree. With time running out to claim for missold PPI, we want to make sure everyone feels empowered to check and complain before the deadline on 29 August 2019. People need to speak up to do that. Doesn't seem like they want to. Researchers concluded people's top regret about not complaining is how it affected them emotionally. Well, they fucking didn't want to complain because of their emotional state. Now they're going to say that because they didn't complain, their emotional state. Wah, fucking wah, fucking wah. Like, seriously. To avoid missing out on your chance to claim back missold PPI, get help with how to check and complain online at fca.org.uk/PPI or by calling the FCA helpline on 0800-101-8800. That's pretty bad. They got this going on here. And people don't want to complain. They're not going to collect on their shit. It's hilarious. The millennial generation are all fucking betas. Oh, I don't want to rock the boat even though this is what I paid for. Oh, whiny little fucking children. But they'll go out and they'll throw on masks and take the fucking streets over fucking stupid shit like getting free shit. Go figure. When they pay for something, they keep their mouth shut. But when they want something for free, yeah, all hell breaks loose. Yeah, anyway, I've covered this well enough. I'm just going to leave things here. If you liked this video, depending on where you are watching it, please give it an upvote or thumbs up. If you want to know when new content of mine hits the internet, don't forget to subscribe to one or more of my social media or video accounts listed here. Also, with YouTube, don't forget to ring that bell. You can find all of my video content on both BitChute and YouTube. This may not be the case with other places I upload to, but I will try to minimize this happening. You are always welcome to interact with me at any of these sites on the list, so feel free to do so. If you have anything you want me to cover in a video, when it comes to news or current events, send it right along to me. I will try to do my best to cover it. As always, thank you for watching.